As you can see the title below, this video is about Jupiter in the axis of Cancer and Capricorn. So you can either have Jupiter in Cancer in Capricorn. You're more than welcome. By the way, I can't even talk right now because I'm a little sick. You're more than welcome to go down the timestamps if you just want to skip to Capricorn and Jupiter, or you can just stay tuned with the Jupiter in Cancer. By the way, let me introduce myself really quick. My name is Steph Garcia. I do astrology online for fun. I think it's very, very real because I tend to resonate with it a lot. But anyways, yeah, I'm here to help out anyone get to know just the collective, but also themselves mainly. That way you can help yourself in your path, but also co-creating and connecting with others in this earth that we are sharing with. So let's get right into it. So Jupiter, I think this is the part I really have to emphasize, and I think it's very important. Jupiter is, people are going to tell you it's an outer planet. I tend to think it's a neutral planet. It's not necessarily too much an outer, too much an inner planet. And if you don't know what that is, inner planets are your very intimate planets. They're literally a big part of your personality, a big part of how you work uniquely, individually as you. But the outer planets is an experience. It's a collective experience. It's like a genre, I would like to say. So it's kind of like the music. The 80s music was like the disco, and the 90s alternative rock. Like there's so many different genres and eras and generational, but it's there and it's very apparent. Now with Jupiter transits in each zodiac sign for one whole year. That's not a long time. That's really not a long time. It's not very generational in my opinion. It's generational in your time of age. So if you are, let's say 45, that year, people who are 45 are going to experience very similar-ish things. And also, I do want to mention, Jupiter is so expansive that it's very bloaty, very like, holy crap, I drink so much water. I I have this water belly. Like, it's like that. It's also about revelation. It's a philosophy, wisdom through actual experience. And also, I do want to say with Jupiter, it's kind of like it is a benefic. So it's kind of like a reward that you got from your past life based on what I know. Here's the thing, and the interesting part is that Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which we'll get into. And then on vice versa, it's debilitated in Capricorn. But there are pros and cons to both sides regardless. And we'll get into that, but let's start off with Jupiter and Cancer. If you have this is for you. And we're going through this right now. I'm going to mention a couple people that have this because we are going through this transit right now. You are in your Jupiter return. Welcome to your Jupiter return, and let's get right into it. 1954, 1965, 1967 in retrograde Jupiter. Those are like way back then. Now here's the part where I feel like I attract this kind of audience. So we have December 1977. You're probably the age of 48 by now if you're into astrology. April 1978, age 47. 1989, the age of 36 by now. And then 2001, if you're born during that time, you're 24 right now. And then the last time Jupiter was in Cancer was 2013, which you're not watching this video. Maybe you'll watch this in 12 years or whatever, or 6 years, I don't know when. But my content is not made for children. It's only 18 plus, and there's a reason. I have a purpose to that. I like to have the children not be so influenced. If they want to, if they come across astrology, great. But if they come across astrology on my channel, you're gonna have to be 18. So welcome to the club once you turn 18. Anyways, so yeah, that was the last time. But the ones that are watching, you're either 24, 36, 47, 48. Around those ages, you had Jupiter in Cancer. So Jupiter in Cancer is exalted. Jupiter loves being in there. It's probably because it's being mommied by Cancer. That sounds kind of messed up, but like nurtured in a concise way. But the interesting part about Cancer and Capricorn in general is that you tend to lean on very traditional things and then break away from that, depending who you are and depending what other aspects and placements you have with that Jupiter and Cancer, wherever the house is. So my mom's a really good example and might help somebody out there. So she's actually in the 1977 time, so she's in her Jupiter return. She has Jupiter 7th house in Cancer, and let me tell you, it is very benefic because that is where she's making money. She's making business with other people, literally, I kid you not. And I don't want to say too much about her life because I'm trying to protect her here on the internet, but she definitely makes bank by doing a nourishing job. That's all I'm going to say. With that, she was able to really get so much abundance out of that. But aside from working with others, she also got married with someone that is a Cancer sign. Jupiter is your husband if you're heterosexual, or if you are looking for your husband, whether you're gay or not, whatever, your husband's going to be Jupiter. And Jupiter, she has Cancer in the 7th house. Her husband was a Cancer sun. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Once I read her chart, I was like, whoa, mom, like, actually, maybe this was divine plan. But it's interesting. She always wanted to get married as a little girl, get her white dress, like all that kind of stuff, the fantasy of getting married. But when she got into this marriage, she came out and said, I'm never gonna get married ever again. She's thought about it, but she was like, overall, I don't care about marriage the way I did before. It kind of broke her away from tradition. That is the interesting part of Cancer and Capricorn. Whatever you have there, you are breaking tradition and making your own foundation with what works for you, and then you make your own tradition. So let's explain it more though. Interesting enough, her husband benefited from her. It's exalted. So you would think, oh, she's getting all the benefits, she has a great husband. No, her husband was very Cancer vibe, like very nourishing, cooking, like very much like that. But he definitely benefited from my mother financially for many, many years. And, you know, there was a lot of expansion happening to the point where it felt almost like she was taking care of a little too much. And it felt like she was going to pop like a bubble. That's not to say Cancer and Jupiter is ultimately bad, ultimately good. It's to say that Jupiter bloats a lot anywhere where it is, but especially where it's exalted, it's going to feel like the most, it's like a water balloon. There's tons of water balloons, but that specific water balloon is going to be the biggest one. Sometimes the Jupiter is not about you, it's about your husband. Sometimes the Jupiter is about, especially in Cancer, about your mother. If Jupiter is in the 2nd house in Cancer, it could be about your family, about food. You can become a chef and nourish people. There's so many different things. In fact, there's a chef, I forgot his name. If I remember, I'm going to put it in the screen. And he has Cancer, I think, in the 10th house. But he was very nourishing with the people he was working with. He was a famous chef, but he did things that most people can't do by leveling with them and being there for them. So he did this whole thing where people came from a really hard background and he wanted them to give them a second chance in life. So he trained them to become chefs. They all had their problems, and I remember I saw one episode where one girl was like, F you, blah blah blah. She came from a really hard background and she ran out and she's like, I don't need this. She threw her coat, and he went outside to look for her and found her sitting down crying. And most of the time, most people would be like, screw you too, you're never gonna work here again, blah blah. He literally, and I did not expect him to do this, but that's how I knew he had that Cancer energy. That it's a gift, dude, I'm telling you, it's a true gift. He sat down next to her and he really leveled with her. He's like, I really know how you feel. I was literally in your shoes growing up. I genuinely understand where you're coming from. And then he he wasn't trying to change her mind or anything. I literally wanted to cry when I watched that episode, because sometimes that's all what people need. They just need to be seen. and honored with their pain or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of an example of how the benefics can transmute through your life with this. So there's so many different things. I definitely want to mention just breaking traditions can be an actual thing. Really depends what aspects you have. It could just, I would say in this placement that you have, if there's nothing else aspecting it in a negative way or in a challenging way. I don't want to say negative because challenging doesn't equate to negative. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But I do want to mention that if it's just plain Jane with just Jupiter and Cancer, there's nothing else in that house with Jupiter and Cancer, I do want to say you will have auspicious and favorable outcomes when it comes to nourishment in your life. Either you're the nourisher and that is your gift, or you already have that nourishment as your resource and use it to your best ability, because remember, not everyone has those resources. Now let's jump into Capricorn. Okay, this one's a very interesting one. It's debilitated. I have this one. Most people get scared like, oh no, my Jupiter's, it's all rude. No. Well, not necessarily. I tend to think Jupiter's very, very it's very optimistic but positive toxicity, where you're too positive and sometimes you can become complacent. So that's where Capricorn comes in and grounds you, tells you no, chill. And chill as in like, let's actually put in the layout and really trust ourselves, ground ourselves, and also break from actual tradition, especially with Capricorn and Cancer. I'm gonna reiterate that so many times in this video. Anyways, if you have Capricorn and Jupiter, I didn't really write down all the years, but I do know if you're around my age, I'm 29, you could be 29, 30-ish, around that time. Yeah, 29, 30. You're basically the same year as me, I guess. And you have Capricorn and Jupiter, you might have Neptune and Jupiter. But that depends on what time and what, if it was the end of the Jupiter, the beginning, etc. Okay, with Capricorn, it's kind of like planting the seeds. Oh, and I forgot to mention. So let's go back to Cancer really quick. Cancer, you're the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. Capricorn, you're the Knight of Pentacles. And let me explain what's the difference if you're not into tarot. So Knight of Pentacles is that dude that looks at a farm. It's all dirt. There's no plants, there's nothing grown, but he starts planting seeds. When you plant seeds, you're not going to see flowers and pumpkins and harvest overnight and bloomed. You're going to have to water it daily. You're going to have to show up. You have to really work with the botanical way, which is patience. It's a lot of patience. So whatever you're putting out there in the world and with yourself and what you want to do with that Jupiter and Capricorn is for you to plant the seeds, not so much look at the results. It's very Saturnian. So Saturnian vibe is like, get through the hard, muddy stuff first. Then you're going to get your fruits of labor towards the end. But it's so worth it because the fruits are so sweet and so rich and so worth it. And you learn so much wisdom through those experiences. It's very like a grandpa wisdom vibe. Yeah, and in the middle of Cancer and Capricorn, there's that Ace of Wands. So it sprouts. There's a lot of sprout energy. It's about breaking away but also blooming out. It's very lotus energy, really. But going back to the Capricorn, you really want to have patience with this Jupiter, but you want to break tradition. You're gonna have a lot of like people tell you have to be this, work hard, not smarter, like things like that goes against what you naturally feel is called to. Sometimes you will want that traditional thing, like my mom did with the Cancer. She wanted to be a wife and etc., but realized she didn't want to get married later in life. She thought it was like not what she thought it was. So it's the same thing with Capricorn. You might want to just focus on the journey, not so much the results. And the reason why it wants you to focus on the journey, not so much the results, is because it wants you to remind you of why you're doing what you're doing with your intentions. So sometimes we get lost in the path and we're thinking of ambition, fame, recognition. And why do we want that? It's because we probably didn't get that recognition growing up, or or etc. So I definitely feel with Capricorn and Jupiter, it's trying to help you remember, why do you want to plant these seeds? What was your purpose from the beginning? Is it ambition for taking and control, or is it you actually genuinely want to do and build something and help people? I'm saying help people because I have Capricorn in the 11th house. I have this urge to want to help and building blocks for others, but that's very Capricorn. Capricorn loves to support in that way, but you might have Capricorn in the 4th house and you are breaking old patterns and building new ones for your new family that's coming up. Or Capricorn in there's so many different things. I wish I can go through every house right now, but if you request a certain house or placement that you have, I'm more than happy to do that for you. And with comparison with Cancer, it would be more emotional fulfillment, nourishment towards the other and yourself. But also with Capricorn, the difference with that is more the intentions, I want to say, because Capricorn, they are not little bitches. They're not playing around. They are about business, and there's a reason why Capricorn feel that way. They need to feel that uphill because that's probably the way they grew up, or something with Capricorn is very karmic always. There's something about needing to go uphill, but it has to do, I personally think it has to do with your childhood and your generational. So just keep doing you. Just keep doing you. Especially with Capricorn and Jupiter, you are not going to see results immediately. That's why you really have to remember why you're doing what you're doing. It's not about, forget about the fame, I'm sorry. Go with your intentions, go with your heart. Take it day by day, because it's not going to come overnight. It's not about viral. It's more Cancer and Jupiter, possibly that can happen, but also it's about centering yourself. You really want to center yourself. Are you going to let the others shake you? You really have to believe in yourself. This is about self-belief, truly. You really want to believe on the vision that you see for yourself overall in your life. You don't want to repeat things for the sake of just giving. And especially with Capricorns are very giving, very provider energy. But if you're going to provide, you have to remember that it's a practice. It's an ongoing everyday thing. What is the purpose of what you're doing? Why are you doing? What are the intentions behind it? Center yourself. Really believe in yourself. Especially with Capricorn here, you really have to believe in yourself, because there's going to be people that are not going to really believe in you, especially now. But once you become let's say you get into that successful rate, then they're going to come around, of course. Yeah, like that usually happens a lot. So people will question you, but you have to break that. Of course, you want to balance both the Cancer and Capricorn axis. For example, Cancer's in the 2nd house with Jupiter, and then Capricorn's in the 8th house. You're gonna need that Capricorn energy with putting in the actual step-by-step practicality with the crazy part of life that comes through that you're not going to see coming. You can't just get too comfortable with Cancer, with just you will have abundance of food or whatever. That's an analogy. But you have to be mindful. If you overindulge in anything in life and get way too comfortable, it could actually be at your detriment. If you sit down for the next 60-90 days without walking, it will be a detriment for your body. You need to move your body, right? So you cannot technically sit in your couch for 90 days straight without getting up. You have to have some practicality. Now reverse the other way. If you overworked and over ambition, over this, over that, you need to nourish yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Say, hey, you did the best you can. Chill. Okay, so that is a little bit of Cancer and Capricorn and Jupiter. If you have any more questions, if you want to know anything else, please comment down below. Please like. This is going to help anyone get to know thyself. If you are watching this and this is just based on your transit, this can help you as well. And yeah, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. I appreciate anyone who ever looked at my videos. You have no idea. I feel very connected to the little small community that is very interested in this kind of stuff. I do astrology for the curiosity of people, really, and the curiosity of self, but I also do it because there's a lot of unpacking but also revelation to do with the psyche, the soul, and it's a mystery. It's always ongoing and it's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop talking. I love you. Take care and have a beautiful, wonderful day and transit with the Jupiter. Enjoy your Jupiter in Cancer. I do want to mention, if you're my age, you might have I forgot to mention this last thing. If you have Jupiter around my age, 29 to 30, you might have Jupiter and Lilith in Cancer. That will affect a lot of things. I think that is why I have this channel. I channel a lot of my sadness and repressed energy through this YouTube channel because I have Lilith in Cancer. I felt very repressed. I had a lot of problems with mother energy for a lot of my life, but recently especially a lot of challenging things, but I feel strong, and I feel like you're strong enough to be able to channel it in ways that you can find autonomy in your life and find nourishment within yourself and others. Okay, that was the last thing I was going to say. I love you. Okay, take care. Bye. Hi, you clicked on this video. Oh, fuck. Oh, you probably click. But we'll get into that in a bit. And we're also talking about fuck, I fucked up. Ah!